Hello everyone. Welcome to IBA Prepworks Education Subclass Project Phase 1. This project is especially executed to create awareness and provide assistance to prospective university students and help them get into the universities of their choice. Our Phase 1 project revolves around providing access to free classes of verbal sections of the aptitude test. And our first lecture is about the subject verb agreement. सब्जेक्ट वर्ब अग्रीमेंट बिल्कुल वैसे ही है जैसे आपको उसके नाम से लगता है. The subject and the verb have to agree with each other. They have to be corresponding to each other. And just for a quick refresher, the subject is the part of the sentence that performs the job. You can even say that the subject is a hero of the sentence. And the verb is basically the job that is being performed by that subject or that hero. For example, Osama eats fish. Here, the main hero of this sentence is Osama. And what is he doing? He's eating the fish. So, eats is what becomes the verb. And you can see that the verb and the subject agree with each other in this sentence because both of them are singular. So let's take a look at what's written here on the slide. Subject verb agreement implies that both subject and verb should agree with each other. So for a singular subject, there has to be a singular verb, and for a plural subject, there has to be a plural verb. In a correct sentence, both verb and subject must agree. For example, he goes to school by foot. Either you can see that the singular subject is he and goes is the verb. And as it's singular, you can see that this also agrees. Let's take a look at the second example. The cardamom, along with the cinnamon and apple, give or gives the dish its unusual flavor. So to understand कि यहाँ पे gives होना चाहिए या give होना चाहिए, you will see whether the subject basically is singular or plural. And what is the subject over here? It's cardamom. And cardamom is singular, which means that you will have to choose a singular verb as well. And that would be gives. So the cardamom gives the dish its flavor. The major problem that actually arises is identifying what the plural or singular verb would be, because the rules do not work the same way as they do for nouns, which are usually our subjects. Plural nouns are made by adding an s at the end, while this is not the case for plural verbs. You can revise the list of singular and plural verbs by just typing it on the Google. This will definitely make it much more easier for you. Now let's take a look at some of the rules to help subject verb agreement be easier for you. So पहला rule है prepositional phrase. And to understand this, you need to know what a prepositional phrase is. A prepositional phrase is a group of words consisting a preposition, its object, and any words that modify that object. So basically, it's a phrase that comes in between of the sentence and it starts with a preposition. So इसका rule जो है, it's basically that what usually happens in the sentence structure is that there's a subject, then there comes a prepositional phrase, and then there's a verb. So the way to solve and understand how the subject agreement works over here is that you will basically ignore that prepositional phrase and then try to read the sentence. Let's do this example together. The players in the oval ground are playing. So first of all, you will see that यहाँ पे prepositional phrase क्या है. In the oval ground is a prepositional phrase. Now let's try to read the sentence without this prepositional phrase. The players are playing. Does this sentence agree? Yes, it does, because players is basically the subject, which is plural, and are is also the plural verb. So basically, this means that the sentence is in agreement. Let's read the second example together. The debate on legends attached to mysterious places is a hot topic for discussion. Now, over here, the prepositional phrase is on legends attached to mysterious places. Let's read the sentence without this. The debate is a hot topic for discussion. And this sentence also agrees because the debate is singular and so is the verb is. The second rule is the five expression rule. It sort of works the same way as the prepositional phrase rule works. except these are some of the five expressions basically, and they will have phrases that begin with these five expressions which you will ignore while trying to solve the sentence. So these five phrases are together with, along with, in addition to, accompanied by, as well as. Let's try to do this example together. Kareem, along with his teammates and school friends, is planning a picnic. Now, the good thing about this expression is that usually they are between a set of commas. You can see that there's a comma after Kareem and then there's a comma after friends. So, this phrase is basically between these comma sets. And now you will try to read the sentence without this phrase. So, Kareem is planning a picnic. And of course, the sentence agrees because both of these are singular. Now, of course, I told you the comma technique, but you should learn these five expressions so that whenever they come, you know how you have to solve the subject verb agreement sentence. Now, the other rule is the singular word rules. This means that the following words that are written on the slide always take a singular verb. So, anyone, someone, everyone, no one, anybody, somebody, everybody, all these words are basically treated as singular. For example, none of the students is able to understand this rule. And I know all of us, most of us, are tempted to write are over here, but you need to learn that none is basically a singular word, which is why we will use is, which is the singular verb over here. Now let's read the other example. Every student standing outside is supporting the committee. Every student is singular, which is why we will use a singular verb that is over here, and that is how your sentence will basically agree. Let's move on to the other rule, which is the neither nor and either or rule. So basically, you know how the sentence of neither nor structure work. There is either, then there's a subject, then there's or, and there's a plural noun and a plural verb. So let's read the sentence together. Neither the driver nor the passengers were hurt. Now you will see that the sentence here agrees because the driver is singular and then we're using. Let's read the sentence again. Neither the driver nor the passengers were hurt. According to the rule, you will check whether after nor the passengers is singular or plural, and then you will choose the singular or plural word accordingly. Over here, the passengers is a plural subject, which is why you will be choosing a plural verb. Let's look at this other example. Either your parents or your sister is required to attend. Now you will see your sister is basically singular, and that is why we are using a singular verb as well. Now this is our last rule, which is gerund as subjects. What are gerunds? Gerunds are basically formed by adding ing at the end of a verb, and what that happens is that makes the verb a noun, and that noun is then considered as singular. So, for example, dieting is impossible without a diet plan. Now, the word diet is made into a gerund by adding ing, so it becomes dieting, and then you will check whether this agrees or not. As mentioned before, gerunds are singular, which is why dieting would be a singular noun, and we will use a singular verb with it, which is is. Now let's read the other example. Lighting a fire is difficult in the absence of a lighter. Lighting over here is the gerund, and is over here is the verb. And as both of them are singular, it completely agrees with each other. Thank you so much for watching our first lecture, and we really, really hope that this helped you understand the subject verb agreement.